Hello, everyone. Meteorologist Joe Martucci here at the Press of Atlantic City, and welcome to Snow Search, where my weather brother Sean Sublette from the Richmond Times Dispatch and I are looking all at the potential winter weather to come for the week ahead. In this case, it's the week of February 5th. Sean, how's it hanging, my man?
For right now, it's pretty nice here in Central Virginia. We're up around 60. The sun is out, but we know the whole weather pattern is going to change here for 3 or 4 days. Anyway, clouds are coming back. It's going to get chilly and damp.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we had Christmas Eve into Christmas Day with that
Mm,
cold. The question is, do we see snow? Sean, I don't know what happened. I mean, we said it in the fall, hey, let's do this snow search video. I think people are going to like to see, hey, what kind of trends can we pick out for next week's storms? And our pickings have been very slim over the past couple of weeks and really past 2 months here in winter. Sean, you did a little bit of research here on what our least snowiest winters have been. In fact,
yeah.
it's so low with the snow. We put out a palm tree for this
I
gratification,
know. I
Sean.
love that you pulled that background in place. So a lot of times we talk about winter being just December, January, and February, or what's classical meteorological or climatological winter. But we wanted to expand the calendar a little bit. So for the least snow in a winter here, went November 1st to March 31st to be a little bit more inclusive. And only when we look at the middle Atlantic, Carolina, up to New Jersey and eastern Pennsylvania, only Greensboro, North Carolina, has had a winter with no snow, at least through all of Virginia. Every winter has had at least a trace of snow. And even Atlantic City, though, little bit less than a half an inch of snow. And that's farther inland at the airport, not so much right there at the marina and along the shore and the boardwalk. But, we still have time. I mean, I know a lot of people have kind of given up already, but there is still time. Having said that, the next 1 or 2 weeks probably aren't the best, are they, Joe?
No, they're not. And Sean, I don't know. I think I'm giving up on winter at this point. I mean, we just don't see much here. We look at our winter indexes. We've been doing this for weeks here. So we're looking at the North Atlantic Oscillation. It is solid positive as we go into next week. That's where you're seeing that dashed black line and those red lines as well. The red lines show pretty much the range of scenarios the one forecast model is showing. That dashed black line is what we call the control or the operational forecast model. I know I'm giving you a lot there, but the point is we're above zero. We are positive. That trends towards east or less likely for East Coast snow. There we go. We look at the Arctic oscillation, kind of the same deal where if it's positive, less of a chance for those cold air outbreaks and stormy weather. We're going to be neutral early, and that's February 5th and the 6th. And we're going to talk about that time period because that's the one thing we could pull out from this. But otherwise, we go right back to positive. Then we have the PNA, the Pacific North American Index here. I'm going to be hovering around neutral, a little bit positive. Generally, we'd like to say equal chances for U.S. cold during this period, but we are going to get awfully cold as we go into this week. I know it's not our official snow search time period. We usually look at the following week, but we just want to talk about this because we're looking for some winter weather, Sean, and I think this is the best we can do. We talk about this weekend, so this is going
Yeah.
to be your February 3rd, 4th, and 5th here.
Right, going into this weekend, normally we look at week two, but thinking about this coming weekend, an absolutely brutal batch of Arctic, if not polar air, is coming into the northeastern United States. And for New England, we think of them being cold, but it's going to be especially cold even for those locations. This little chunk, some people would say it's a chunk of the polar vortex, Joe. I'm not
Yeah,
going to say that, but you're going to hear that word.
yeah.
Nonetheless, a big piece of very cold air is going to be breaking off and sliding southward into New England. A little area of low pressure is going to be nearby, so there is a kind of a middling opportunity for these two things to kind of hook up. It's still going to be quite difficult to get it to come together, though, we think. So
Yeah.
as a result, the chances still aren't good. But I think cold is really going to be the operative term. Some of that cold air is going to get as far south as Virginia and North Carolina, but the moisture will likely be lacking.
So we get to our February 6th storm here. I mean, we're really, just searching real hard for some snow. I do believe if you're northwest of Interstate 95, if you're in Roanoke, you're in Carlisle, You're in some of the mountains over there in Virginia and North Carolina. There will be some snow. Some might be a couple of snowflakes mixing in with primarily rain, but some snow to the southeast of there, and including pretty much the whole I-95 corridor. You're expecting plain rain with this at this time. So, that's our only shot of some snow, I think, for next week. Let's just take a look at our temperatures a mile up as we go into Tuesday and beyond. Now, mile up's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things when it comes to weather.
No, but we like to think of that. That's kind of like the last level the precipitation has to fall through. It's one of those things that we use as the first guess, or one of the first 2 or 3 guesses to where the rain snow line would be. But keep an eye on the colors themselves. Don't lock in so much to this color says this or this color says that, but just kind of watch how the greens start advancing up the East Coast once again. The darker blues, the whites are kind of fading away. So we don't have the consistently cold air. This basically means that the winds are going to be turning from the southwest again, up and down the eastern seaboard next week. So it is going to be very difficult to get any kind of truly cold air in here enough to support legitimate accumulating snow more than a flurry here or there. So, Joe, wrapping things up, this is not going to be the best week for snow lovers, the week of February 5th, despite what anything the groundhogs might say this week.
Hey, and speaking of groundhog, Sean, we got to plug in our Across the Sky podcast. You can look that up wherever you get your podcast. We're talking all about Groundhog Day with your old Penn State meteorology mate, I should say, Joe Murgo. Yes.
We did come through Penn State the same time in the late 80s and early 90s. Have been in touch ever since then. Yeah. But take us home here, Joe, with the week of February 5th.
Yep. So really cold as we go into the weekend of the 4th into the 5th here, but we warm pretty much right back up during the week. The 6th, that storm's coming in as we're warming up. If you're southeast I-95, it's all snow. If you're northwest of there, you're pretty much all rain. Did I get that wrong, Sean? Did I say all snow southeast of I-95?
You might have, but that's okay.
My brain is just wanting snow. No, it is all rain southeast of I-95. Yeah. To the northwest of there, it's primarily rain, but there can be some conversational snow in this. Some of the mountain tops or the hills can accumulate, but Sean, we are pretty much really
stretching. You were stretching.
Yes, we are stretching here as we go into the week of February the 5th. So Sean, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I think for in Virginia, it's at least the 10th or 11th of February. So I'm not excited about any kind of snow for the better part of 2 weeks.
Yeah. Sean, what are you searching for today?
We're searching for the snow. We're searching to see what happens with Punxsutawney Phil there this week. I am curious because it's always fun. As you mentioned, check out our podcast with Joe Murgo. He's got a lot of really cool inside stories of what it's like there on Gobbler's Knob and Punxsutawney. There's some very, very interesting things that go on there. So that's what I'm looking for. And of course, my buddy's going to be retiring from the business there, Joe Murgo, up there in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and you got me beat on the weather one, Sean. I was not going weather at all. I was saying I'm searching for the most Oreo. Have you heard of this one?
I've seen this. I saw this on Colbert a couple of nights ago.
Okay, all right. So I didn't know about this until today on Monday here. So they're taking the most stuffed Oreo, which was my favorite. Oh my God, it's like 4 times the amount of cream with the little tiny wafers on either side by that point. But they're doing the most stuffed Oreo, but the Oreo cream is stuffed with the cookies inside, with more Oreos. Sean, a long time ago, 3 years ago, let's say, we did an Oreo taste test at the Press of Atlantic City. We don't know where that video lives. It is gone to the ether, but we think that would have been an award-winning piece of journalism that I did with my buddy Ryan Laughlin on that.
Gotcha. One more quick thing before we break. Who do you like for the Super Bowl?
Well, Sean, I'm here in Eagles territory. I'm going to say fly, Eagles, fly on this one. I do actually honestly believe the Eagles are going to win. I mean, they rolled over the Giants. They rolled over the 49ers. The Chiefs, probably a better team, definitely a better team than the Giants. probably a better team than the 49ers, but the Eagles, the team just looks to be gelling to me. I'm not a sports expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm going to say the Eagles are going to win. Let's go 38-27.
Wow. Wow, that's a bit. I like the Eagles too. Maybe not quite as much. I like more like a 31-20 kind of game. But yeah, I like the Eagles. I don't know what the line is right now, but I like the Eagles and I like them to cover.
Yeah, I don't know what the line is either. But yeah, I think we'll both be in some winning territory by the time the
Should
Super
be
Bowl
fun.
is
Should be
over.
fun.
Should be fun. So for Sean Sublette, I'm meteorologist Joe Martucci. Thanks for watching Snow Search, everybody. We will be back with you next Monday with a new episode. We'll talk to you soon.